Hey, this is Eugene coming at you from a bench in front of Roy Thompson Hall along King Street in the entertainment district here in Toronto. King Street's become a unique street ever since 2017. The Mandarins who run our city decided that our streetcars were too slow. And so they made a decision to try a pilot project they called the King Street Pilot that ran from Bathurst Street to Jarvis Street. And along that street, the rule was nobody can drive. Well, that's not quite true. You can drive for one block and then you're required to turn right. And otherwise, you should be getting a ticket if there were enforcement. I've heard that there's lots of people ignoring the rules. We're going to see if that's actually happening. We're going to walk east towards Yonge Street. While I was on the subway, it poured rain. There's all kinds of puddles on the ground, but I didn't see any of it. That rain brought just a tiny little bit of cool air in what otherwise has been a tremendously hot and humid day. It's about 7:15, and I'm going to take you for a walk along King Street. Okay, we're walking east on King, and while we do that, I'm going to tell you a unique fact about King Street. It's one of the major arteries east-west across Toronto. On the west side, it curves north and joins up to Queen Street, heading east. Ronsonsvale is heading due north, and Queensway heading west. And then if we go to the east side of King Street, it curves north and again goes up to Queen Street just before the Don River. So both sides, the street ends at Queen. It's pretty unusual. Here's the St. Andrew's Church. For those interested in church architecture, let's see if we get a better look at it. So I can see this streetcar is going across unimpeded by traffic. So in that sense, it looks like the transit priority corridor, which is what it's called since they stopped calling it a pilot. It looks like to that extent it's worked. And I've seen cars that have come up to University here have turned right. So far I haven't seen anyone not following the rules. Let's see what this fellow here does in his Volkswagen. Is he gonna go straight through? He is. So that's the first person we've seen to break the rule. But I don't see any police out here. I don't think they do any enforcement, as near as I can tell. We are coming up to University Avenue. If you go north from here, you run into our Hospital Row. Up north of Dundas Street. The exceptions to the rule on King Street are cabs and emergency vehicles, and I suppose Uber. So this guy without his signal lights on here, I don't see Uber sign in his window. He would be a guy who just doesn't know the rule or doesn't know the law and is happily driving along. It's kind of confusing. I don't know how they expect people to figure out what's going on down here. I used to like driving on King Street because when I came to the area that was around between King and Bathurst, King and Spadina, I could always find parking in there. And if I had business at, for instance, I had a gallery that represented me at Richmond and Spadina for a few years, and when I visit that gallery, I would park on King typically and walk over. But that's ancient Canadian history. We're at York Street now. Down below, there's a path that goes underneath everything throughout this part of downtown. They call the path, and the pandemic pretty much killed it. No one went down there during the pandemic, and all those stores pretty much closed. I don't know what the state of it is right now. I haven't gone down there in some time. Here's Bay Street, King and Bay, the heart of banking in Toronto. For those who get all excited at the sight of a bank. Let's look north on Bay. And you can see Old City Hall, just where the street curves off to the left. To the west of that is New City Hall. The Scotia Plaza. And here's one of the entrances to Commerce Court, which is another of our bank towers. There's a whole herd of banks down here. As many as you might need at any given time. Yonge Street. There's a lot of lights to decipher here. You got your turn lights, authorized vehicles, 3 lights, no left turn, bicycles could go through, pedestrians can walk across, cars supposed to turn. So my assessment, just watching a number of them go by, is for the most part people are obeying the rules, but there are a few people who just aren't, and I suspect it's because they have no idea they're doing anything they shouldn't be doing. We're walking north. We're on Victoria Street. And we're gonna go up for a while. I'm not sure just how far. Let's make this a walk we figure out as we go along. Coming up to Adelaide Street. North. It's downright steamy here. It's not raining, but it might as well be. So you can see suddenly there's a lot of cars where there weren't cars on King Street. So for the most part, the transit corridor is successfully reducing traffic along that street. I don't know how much time savings there is at different times of the day for the streetcars. I imagine that rush hour in the morning and the afternoon, it could be a big deal. Some construction that's going to stop us in our tracks up ahead. So I'm going to go back to Yonge and then north from there. We're going to go along to Yonge Street and then turn up north. Avenue across the street. We are in the heart of downtown Toronto right now. If you enjoy these videos, please take a moment to subscribe. Each of my videos will show up in your feed. That helps me out quite a bit. And it's free. If you got a bone to pick with me, pick away. Because I have pretty thick skin and I like to hear what you got to say. So Queen Street is closed here, which is just one of the many special things that makes Toronto a traffic nightmare right now. One of our main arteries just shut right down. And it's shut down over there too until the next street. This is Queen Street, one of the main arteries across the city, and it is closed west of Yonge. There's the old City Hall right there. I don't know if we can get around this construction or not, but we're going to try. Put up some serious construction hoarding here, so we don't get to see anything on the other side yet. Maybe up here. Coming up to Bay Street where we'll see new City Hall, and I'll take you around there. So we have 10 seconds to get across this street, and we'll be at Nathan Phillips Square. Looks like they're doing some construction in the square too. Everything is under construction. That's the law. If you can think of it, it's probably under construction in the city.
By the white locks of Moses, by the long white hair.
Well, I was going to take us up there, but we can't go up there due to construction.
By the white locks of Moses.
In the winter time, this is the ice rink over here. And along Queen Street, which is open over here, there's generally a lineup of chip trucks, that kind of thing. I'll walk down there a bit so you can see what I'm talking about.
Learn a word of godliness, you are cursed in this plane, the next, and in between, by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, by the tribunal in heaven, by the tribunal on earth, by Moses and his grave was taught, by Jesus in the mountain.
I do think we just been preached to. So we got fries, we got ice cream. You might have seen pictures of a big Toronto sign. Well, this is where it is. Must be a school group down here. Halal sausage, hot dog, burger. I like the signs here. And just because we've passed the main construction doesn't mean there isn't a lineup of cement trucks up the street, because there's more of that action. vantage point up here. We can see some games of chess going on. It looks like there's 2 tables are playing chess. Other people are just hanging out, watching the games. I might go down after and watch a bit of a game.